The Denver Nuggets have gotten off to a hot start this season, with the incredible offensive play from Nikola Jokic and the super solid contributions from Gary Harris, Paul Millsap, Will Barton and Emmanuel Mudiay. They look to have found their identity and are doing incredibly well in the race for the Western Conference playoffs. But the play of second-year guard out of Kentucky, Jamal Murray, has been the most fascinating for me. Thrust into the starting lineup to start the season, Murray has been incredibly up and down, with the highs being absolutely enthralling to watch and the lows being borderline infuriating. This video will cover Murray's entire career to date, from high school to college and finally to his NBA career, where he remains one of the young guards in the league with the most potential. Murray was born and raised in Kitchener, Ontario in Canada, and like so many NBA players have done videos on, was a phenomenal basketball player from an incredibly early age. Jamal would reportedly play basketball for hours a day at a young age and was playing in an under-10s tournament at the age of 6. He would begin his formal basketball career at Orangeville Prep in Canada, alongside a name that had become worldwide famous due to his freakish length and skills for a 7-footer, Thon Maker. Murray and Maker would form an incredible duo for Orangeville, and whilst Maker was the initial reason for college coaches to come to Orangeville in droves, Murray quickly began to establish himself as a player and a prospect. Jamal would truly break out at the Nike Hoop Summit in 2015, where he dropped 30 points and was named the MVP of the game. Whilst it was only one game, before this many hadn't heard of Murray, who was tucked away in Canada, away from a large portion of the basketball viewing public. And whilst many Canadian star prospects such as Andrew Wiggins choose to go to US prep schools to get attention and experience, Murray had chose to remain home to stay close to his family and friends. And Jamal's father had played a huge role in the development of his son, and outside of just teaching him basketball skills, he has had Murray meditate every day since early on in his career. Murray says this helps him keep a calm and focused mind, and you can see this translate to the way he plays on the court. Jamal has such a fluid game, and he never looks disinterested in the game or too emotional on the court. Instead, he has that perfect balance of being locked in but calm, and he uses this ability to never get flustered by defenders or by previous mistakes. Murray would choose to take his calm demeanour to a rebuilding Kentucky program. Fresh off an almost undefeated college season, Calipari had lost 7 of his best players to the NBA draft, and was looking to add talent to replace them. Jamal had been courted by a lot of different college programs, and decided against teams such as Duke, who already had a lot of talent at the guard position. Murray would eventually blossom under Calipari, and dominated his only season of college basketball. Due to his impressive play, he would be added to the watch list for both the Wooden and the Naismith Trophy, an award that very rarely goes to freshmen, with only Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis winning the awards in their freshman years. So simply to be added to the list was an amazing feat for Murray, and despite not winning it, Murray would finish the year averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds and 2 assists a game, while shooting over 40% from 3, and was named as the 3rd team All-American. Murray, like so many other NBA players, would leave Kentucky after his freshman year and declare for the draft. Jamal was in an incredibly strange draft class, with Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram being the established 2 top prospects, and then there was a large number of players who many saw as hard to differentiate. This group included Murray, Chris Dunn, Jaylen Brown, Dragan Bender, Marquise Chris, and Buddy Hield. One of my best friends and an avid NBA fan himself absolutely raved about Jamal Murray before the draft, and thought he was the clear-cut best out of the next group behind Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram, and said he would definitely draft him 3rd or 4th. And he nailed it, as even though Murray was taken 7th, he looks to be in the clear top 4 prospects from his draft class. Only time will tell who was the correct pick out of that group, but at this early stage, it looks like Denver got an absolute steal with the 7th pick. Coming out of college, Murray predicted as a combo guard with a wicked handle and a fantastic 3-point stroke. Most scouts predicted him to be a fantastic offensive threat who could splash threes or drive to the rim and finish. Essentially, the prototypical modern NBA guard. On top of this, Murray possessed the ability to shoot off of the dribble when coming off of screens, and this is becoming more and more of a required skill for point guards in the NBA. And Denver saw the potential, and took Murray, despite already having Gary Harris and Emmanuel Mudiay as 2 young guards, figuring that they would work it out, and that having more talent is always better than having to take what they viewed as an inferior talent. Murray would struggle to start his rookie campaign, as he came off of the bench and had to adjust to NBA level defenses. But as mentioned in previous videos, this is extremely normal for rookies, and it is especially true for point guards, as they have the ball in their hand more and are expected to create nearly all of their own offense, and don't have teammates who can break the ball down and give the ball to them to score easy points. But he would go on to drop 36 points, 9 threes, and 11 assists in the Rising Stars game at All-Star Weekend, and his name became a lot better known around the league. And while this game means absolutely nothing for predicting future NBA success, every now and then a player lights it up and takes the confidence through the rest of the season. This would apply to Jamal, and he would play so much better after the All-Star break, and average 12.6 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in 25 minutes a game on 43% field goal shooting, 35% three-point shooting, and 89.7% free throw shooting. This obviously wasn't the perfect rookie season, and Jamal didn't show as much as many of the young rookies are showing this year. However, he showed flashes of brilliance and the ability to heat up on the offensive end. And in one of the last games of the season, Murray dropped 30 points on just 14 shots against the Pelicans, and reminded the league of his talent and Denver's future. And this season has seen Jamal Murray earn his way into the starting lineup as the point guard alongside Gary Harris. However, this is the biggest area of criticism I have for Murray, his passing and assist numbers. Whilst Nikola Jokic and Paul Millsap do have a lot of the offense run through them, thus taking the ball out of Murray's hands, in such a high-paced offense, Murray should average more than 2.3 assists per game. The advanced stats are even worse for Murray in this area. His assist percentage compared to his usage rate is in the bottom 2 percentile of all guards in the NBA at this point in the season. Murray will have to learn to increase this, as when teams begin to clue in that they can simply trap Murray and force him to pass or let him take contested and tough shots over and over again, he will seriously lose his efficient scoring and ability to contribute to a successful offense. If I was the Denver coaching staff, this would be my biggest point of emphasis with Jamal, as letting players do this over the years will form hard to break habits, and it is way easier to defend guards who are hesitant to pass when compared to scoring guards who are fantastic and willing passers, like Steph Curry, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. And once Murray becomes a more willing and competent passer, the entire Denver starting lineup will be full of players willing and able to pass the ball, which will potentially see that offense reach yet another level. Outside of his passing though, Jamal's been playing very well this season, and from the eye test he appears to be a lot more comfortable in the NBA. He definitely struggled at the start of the season, and his first 5 games were absolutely terrible, but he's bounced back and is playing great basketball right now. I'm not sure why Murray struggled so much in his first few games. He could have been trying too hard to prove that starting him was correct, or it could have been to do with Denver's offense just not looking as crisp to begin the season. But since that bad batch of 5 games, Murray's been averaging 17 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 2 assists a game on 50.7% field goal shooting, 35.6% from deep, and 92.5% shooting from the free throw line. These numbers are around what many expected from Murray this season, and you can see why when you watch the game. Millsap, Jokic, Harris, and Moutier all look to get Murray the ball in good spots and in rhythm to let him shoot from deep or attack a defender who is closing out a little bit too fast. And Murray has excelled, and his numbers are even influenced by 4 terrible games where he scored under 10. Jamal's also exploded for 32 points and 31 points against Orlando Magic and New Orleans Pelicans, and looked absolutely unstoppable doing so. Murray's offensive talent isn't hard to see. He is clearly an exceptionally gifted young scorer who can score in transition, spot up threes, and creates looks for himself in the mid-range, at the rim, and from deep. If he can figure out how to spot teammates on the pass, he'll be an incredibly effective player and a key part of this Denver team going forward. And this team going forward is going to be good with or without Murray taking that next step. Jokic, Harris, and Millsap is an incredibly strong core that could see the Nuggets make the playoffs for years to come. But if Murray can take that next step to becoming a deadly scorer and passer, then the Nuggets could once again be a threat for the Western Conference Finals, and even a championship after the Golden State era is over. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA videos in the future, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets.